What's up, everybody? Welcome to Mongols. This is our reaction show. No, there was not a game. There was some big news that was shared all over the internet in the Pittsburgh region today. We're going to talk all about it. I am Mike. Joining me is Steve, Drew, aka Mondo, and Peter. Gentlemen, I appreciate you jumping on to talk about, something we kind of knew was coming, but we didn't really have all of the details. So I really wanted to pick your brains, just sort of get your thoughts on it. But we need to, let everybody know what we're talking about. So, Tuffy, take it away.
Now we have a significant opportunity with the growth, and the timing could not be better. The USL, which is our league, the USL has announced its plan to launch a USL Division I men's league, which is the top tier of soccer in the United States. We have currently completed our D1 application with the USL. That being said, certain criteria have to be met. U.S. Soccer Division I requires stadium to have a capacity of 15,000, which is what brings us here today. Today, we are announcing and going to show you the plans of the expanding our new stadium from 5,000 to 15,000. A venue of that size will be a desired destination that will continue to benefit the development of the South Shore. Supplementally, the incline ride sharing will offer convenient parking and transportation option for the fans. This opens up the door to a significant number of other events such as concerts that we can host up to 20,000, which is much needed for the city. This expansion will also allow us the opportunity to bring in larger NCAA, possibly PIAA, and WPIL events. Even more amazing will be the venue's role in our region's youth, including our growing academy, which has grown to nearly 5,000 kids in our teams and our training programs. When completed, we expect to attract a minimum of 500,000 people annually, with a tax revenue of approximately $10 million for the city of Pittsburgh, Allegheny County, and the Commonwealth of PA.
So there is the news that I think we've all been waiting for. Oh, hi, Josh. Josh is here now, too.
I've been here the whole time. I don't know.
For a while, Josh appears.
Yeah. So obviously, great news. It's official. We will be constructing a 15,000 seat stadium. We've had conversations on and off with Jeff for years, and it's always been, yeah, it's happening. Yeah, we kind of have these plans, but the architects are still working on it. And I'm assuming the architects are still working on it, but today is the day where they make the announcement. Guys, I'm really interested in your thoughts. I'm going to put the renderings up on the screen as we kind of just go around the horn and get everybody's thoughts. Steve, I'll start with you as we kind of throw something up here. Big news. Give me a takeaway here.
It is absolutely fabulous. I mean, I saw this. I noticed a couple things right away. There's a new, looks like walkway between the field and the train tracks. But this stadium looks like a real professional level stadium. And I think it's just going to be absolutely like a statement piece when it gets to this level and you're driving by on the bridge and you see it.
Josh, you've kind of been around since the inception of Highmark Stadium. Whether this is going to be called Highmark Stadium or something else, it sounds like maybe not. Thoughts on this leap?
It's awesome. I mean, this thing just looks massive in comparison where we started with Highmark Stadium. The whole thing is impressive. I love the fact that they kept the cutout for the view. That walkway is really cool. It goes in between the bike path and the stadium. I love the fact that there are arches so you can still see the train when it goes by. It's not like it's going to be completely blocked out by that walkway. Yeah, just the whole idea of this place, the rotundas, everything, it's going to be impressive if it's even, somewhat like these renderings, which, I mean, we're a long way off. So, it's hard telling for sure, but this is cool looking.
Yeah. Peter, thoughts?
From what I've seen on Reddit, and something I can definitely get behind is that it is not cookie cutter. And I think Josh said it when it comes to keeping a cutout. That was definitely important. I definitely wish, though, that, how in Station Square there's like a little like archway that connects to like a dock, then like the other side to like the river. I wish we had that, but other than that, fantastic. And I cannot wait until U.S. Open Cups are held when it's completely done.
Wow, yeah.
Yeah. Drew, thoughts?
Oh, man. I mean, first of all, I love it. I have a lot. Something that occurred to me actually just looking at the renderings in this moment. So I saw the renderings earlier today, looked at them, have a lot of initial thoughts, but it just occurred to me that something that's really excellent about the stadium is that with that riverside walkway, it ties to the other two stadiums in this city. And I mean the other two stadiums, and I'm not counting the arena intentionally. Like, this is tying our shores together, which is really cool. Like, just from an architectural standpoint. From a soccer standpoint, that thing is awesome. Could you imagine that thing lit up? Like, this is great. Sure, it's only 15K, but like, look at the space that they're working with, that they managed to fit 15,000 people into. That's amazing. Right? Like that's not an easy ask, and it's not like we were going to bulldoze half a station square to put up the stadium. Right? Like, this is essentially on the existing footprint of the current stadium, maybe a little bit more than that.
Yeah. Yeah, as Tuffy mentioned, it looks like they're planning for 15,000 seats. I want to get to there was another lead that was kind of buried in what it was that he said, something that we've thought was happening, but he basically said that our D1 application is complete. So it is the Hounds' intention to apply for D1 status if and when it is ready. We will get there. The renderings came from, as he mentioned, DLA Plus Architects, so there was also speculation of who's actually doing it. Sounds like DLA Plus Architects. Josh, we were talking a little bit. It sounds like, based on some internal feedback, that this could be rolled out in a couple of phases, which we knew about. Jeff had sort of talked about it's going to be phases. It's not going to happen all at once. But at this point, they're kind of sort of leaning towards working on the building and the Riverside first, then the grandstand, then the Paul Child side, and then ancillary projects from there. The goal is to have it completed by 2028, which would coincide with the launch of the USL Premier. Really exciting stuff. Robbie, they had a number of speakers there. Robbie had a point that I thought was really interesting. We're going to play that now, and then I want to get your guys' thoughts on that too.
People will look at this, they'll drive across the bridges. They will see us on the same level as the Steelers, the Penguins, the Pirates. And certainly, as a Pittsburgher, I can appreciate that. All the conversations that I've had where in the past people have questioned, I'm not familiar with the Riverhounds. We're not on that same echelon. I think now we're really going to be proof that we are going to be on that same level as those other Pittsburgh teams, and that's going to be really exciting. So, as we push on towards Division I status, that's a really exciting thing for players for sure. And it's a great thing to be a part of, and we're happy to be here today. Thanks.
So I'm interested. That was something I hadn't even considered. We had talked about for years, Josh, literally years. Like, how do the Hounds get on the same level as the other teams in the city? I believe that the Pens Arena holds 18 to 20,000, something like that. So this is edging ever closer to that. Do you agree with Robbie? Having a stadium like this that people see on the regular, does that elevate the Hounds in a way that they just haven't been able to in the past?
I think it does help, but I think there's a little bit more to it. I don't want to undersell the D1 status. Going for USL Premier is what I'm assuming it's called, USL Premier League, and that becoming a real contender in the sports world, like when it comes to MLS and just soccer in general in America. If that league is seen as legit, this will, like, the Riverhounds will be seen as legit. I do think they're a little bit more married to the league than they are to the stadium, and the stadium will definitely turn some heads, and people will, hopefully know the Hounds because of that. But at the same time, I don't think the stadium's by itself, no matter how big the stadium is, going to really make everyone know who the Riverhounds are. It's if they're actually showing up to games, and hopefully 15K people will be showing up to these games. And that's what's going to do it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Steve.
No, I agree with everything Josh says, but
Always.
I also think that Robbie's got a point in terms of the stadium being a landmark, right? Like, and I think that's what I said in my beginning comments, right? Like you will see the stadium and it will stand out. And I think about like soccer stadiums I've been to around the country. And the ones that I think stand out the most, I'll be honest, the one that sticks in my mind is a stadium that says this is where a soccer team plays, and it is a part of the skyline, the city identity, is Louisville. I've been to Philly, I've been to Cincinnati, I've been to Loudoun, I've been to a number of other stadiums as well, Detroit. And I think there's only one other stadium that I can think of that is a thing that everybody that is driving through downtown is going to see, that is driving around downtown is going to see. And I think there is something about that for me that is massive. And that's what Robbie was alluding to in my mind.
Yeah. I mentioned before we got on here that I had this clip from Robbie. Robbie also used the phrase, if you build it, they will come. Peter, you said you had thoughts to Robbie, to what Robbie would have to say. What are your thoughts on where he stands on things?
I think like he's entirely right in what Steve said earlier. Like the landmark will be there, and Josh kind of like alluded to it. I think there needs to stop being a caveat when it comes to like the USL entirely. Like even Tuffy said in his remarks, like the USL, the league we're in, it's like people just need to know the USL generally, and I think people are like, oh yeah, that's our soccer team. And right now it's just like, oh yeah, that's like our minor league soccer team. It's like we're not a minor league, man. Stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the sentiment around the league, this is Mike Pendleton was responding to a Nicholas Murray comment over on Blue Sky. Nicholas Murray said, as much stadium building is happening in the USL Championship and USL 1, the Hounds' current venue was the first serious step forward in 2013. The trajectory of the club has been on since then has been tremendous and is picking up speed. It's really exciting that the Hounds and Riveters makes this next step. And Mike Pendleton, who, if you follow him, is a massive design guy, known for having a good eye for things, said this is one of the most rad soccer stadiums I've ever seen. It would instantly be a gem in the U.S. soccer landscape. That's kind of the feeling outside of the room. Drew, you were there in the room during the announcement. What was the feeling when the players went up and lifted the sheets off the renderings, and how did it feel?
I mean, it was exciting. It was so exciting. I mean, I was excited. I didn't really have much room for anybody else. The people around me were excited. I just want to, for a moment, just mention the players who lifted the sheets. Mm-hmm. It was Eric Dick, Canardo Forbes, Danny Griffin, Luke Biasi, Robbie Mertz, and Sabrina Bryan. So we did actually have some Riveters representation there too, which is a nice nod to that side of things. Mm-hmm. I mean, you want to talk about, like we talked over the weekend about, hey, we just set a regular season record for how many attendees we've had to a game. The Riveters hold the number 4 spot. Like, and that's,
don't they have like 4 of the top 10 as well?
They have
maybe 3 of the top 10 now that the Hounds have reclaimed one.
Right, exactly. And which is like super incredible considering what half of their games were rained, completely rained out, and they still managed to bring people. Like, oh man, I'm like, and we're all forgetting we want to talk about a minor league team. The Riveters are our minor league team.
They're not even minor, they're semi-pro. They don't even get paid.
But that's my point. Is like there's room in Pittsburgh for soccer, and that's what makes this even more exciting. Also, if we want to talk about like a major part of the Pittsburgh landscape is the tunnel, the Fort Pitt Tunnel and Bridge, and dominating that for years has been like in the one side has been, and you can see it in the background here, PNC Park and
Acrisure.
I was going to say Heinz Field at Acrisure Stadium, but sure, Acrisure. But like you notice it, and this will stand out on the right hand side. Like this will or the opposite side. Like this is going to pull attention, and especially if you're a parent visiting your kid at one of the 7 Pittsburgh universities. Have I forgotten one? Like this is going to draw your attention regardless.
I mean, Tuffy added in his comments, I can't remember if they were in this clip or not. It's all blurring together at this point. But the fact that Highmark Stadium is currently home not just to the Hounds and the Riveters, but it's also home to a number of those collegiate teams. It's home to concerts, which can you imagine going to a concert here with 20,000 people with that backdrop and kind of just a full bowl? Like that's going to be insane. So it definitely feels like they're trying to make, we've talked for a while about Highmark kind of being the mecca of soccer in Pittsburgh. I think this takes it up a notch, but it also makes it this destination for so many other things. More news to come on that as well that we'll talk about, I'm sure, at some point. But
I want to add to that. The stadium has already been selected to host the 2027 NCAA Div 3 soccer championships. So we already know a massive tournament is going to occur in this space.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I can guarantee you every Pittsburgher will sell their soul never to have to go to KeyBank freaking Pavilion ever again. Sky Lake. I don't care what you call it. Trash hole. That's what I call it. Okay. Like that place is just.
Yeah.
So I want to be precise. I don't want us to have to correct something in the future. So 2 Riveters games, at least according to Wikipedia. I can't find enough info quick enough. Wikipedia has 2 in the top 10 for Riveters. So still freaking amazing.
Yeah. Agreed. In terms of what is this going to cost? The question was raised at the end of the press conference. Tuffy said it's a budget of around 125 to 150 million. It sounds like at the beginning of the process, and this would have been, essentially years ago now when we started talking to Jeff about it, that the governor's pledged $3 million to the project at the beginning, and then quote, a lot of things happening right now from Tuffy. So it sounds like the rest will come from a public-private partnership. What that means, we don't know. We're going to table that conversation for later. But I guess just like quickly for those who haven't seen it and, are here kind of listening to it, you guys described a number of things. I would say that some of the biggest takeaways, like you said, there's that new elevated walkway that look like brick archways that people can walk along between the bike path and the stadium. So you could still have that access along the river, but you're actually up off the ground, which will give you a different perspective, which is great. We had heard in the past that the way that you will actually get into the stadium moving forward is you will go up a flight of steps so that you will actually start almost mid-level, which some of these renderings kind of show people up a level already. And then you will, if you're on the lower level seats, you will actually walk down into your seats. Other highlights, there are rotundas. Like that was the first thing my kids saw. They were like, holy crap, we have rotundas. We're so legit. And I'm like, okay, they're rotundas, but yes. So there are rotundas in either corner, basically to help get people up on top of the stands. There is a roof, which hopefully the roof does stay. The roof covers all 3 sides of the field. So, Josh, it's not going to protect you from getting completely cooked because you guys are still going to be facing the sun. But hopefully the stands on the opposite side will be high enough that maybe it won't be as impactful, which will be great. They said there's going to be a number of new luxury boxes. We know that there's going to be a larger team store. I'm just trying to imagine what the actual viewing experience is going to be like from like the top of one of these sections. It's going to be insane. Like the additional height, looking down on the field, looking straight out across the river to the city in a way that you haven't been able to before. It's just going to be nuts. Guys, is there anything else that I'm missing here that you're really looking forward to seeing in person?
Yeah. So talk a little bit about things that we kind of pulled out of between Jeff and others about like the supporter section, Paul Child stand. So we're talking safe standing seems to be actually happening in that section.
Nice.
They're talking about actually having rigging up for TIFO that we can use. So some massive TIFOs over there. It's going to look awesome. And just in general, like having that roof, and if that roof does stay, which, knock on wood, the roof stays, because that will make the sound travel so much more in that section, and it will just be booming. And it's fantastic.
Yeah. Guys, anything else that we missed from that? Otherwise, I just want to get into, what else? What is there?
I have a question that I want answers about, because that walkway there's nothing in the renderings that shows an exit closer to the all child stand. I assume there probably is something, but it just isn't clear to me. But it looks like it leads to an area behind the main building and behind the stands, right? Like you can see it right there, like to the right, there's an opening there. And so like, is that like a concessions area and like courtyard or something, right? Like, I don't know what that is, but it looks like it leads directly to that walkway. And so it's like, yeah, go grab a beer and some fries and walk out on the walkway and watch the game before you go back to your seat. If that's what it is, like that makes me really excited.
Yeah.
If that's what we see eventually. Yeah.
Yeah. Steve, you kind of segued nicely into kind of my final points for this one. We're not going to go full 45, but what questions do we still have, based on what it is that we're seeing? I think obviously the big question is the funding. It kind of seemed like it was a bit of an afterthought, but I'm sure that we will hear more as we go along. I know, I think it was Liz in our Slack chat brought up the idea of parking. That's definitely something that will have to be considered, because for those who have been there, parking can be a bit of a mess on game day, and now multiply that times 3. And so, in these renderings, there isn't an additional parking garage. There isn't anything like that. You do see that there is parking, but it doesn't really look that different. And I'd have to imagine that potentially they're pushing out into the primary parking lot a little bit as they do this building. So you're going to lose some spaces there. So I'm sure that that's going to have to get worked out as well. What other questions? Was there anything else that you guys saw or heard and went, huh?
I feel like one thing to bring up as far as like the funding and the just like seems pie in the sky right now, because we don't really have any more solid information. I will say having so many public officials there also talking about it and being excited about it, to me, makes me feel a little bit more confident in the situation, because it wasn't like it was just Tuffy and Jeff up there being like, we're going to do this. And then like no politicians at all, no one who can actually cut that red tape, there. So the fact that it does feel like they're working hand in hand with them makes me feel more confident. Obviously things can happen, things can change. But I don't feel like this is as much pie in the sky as it has felt previously.
It feels to me very deliberate. Like I said, we kind of knew this was coming for literally years now. And we've had conversations with Jeff, and we were like, when it happens, like, let us know. And he's like, yeah. And we knew that it was going to be a big announcement like this. And that was how it was going to go down. And that's fine. So I do want to, get back and talk to Jeff and get his thoughts on sort of what's next and where do we go from here and all of that. But
who I want to hear from, just in addition to this, and I think a really important aspect that we need to remember as like part of the stadium build is I want to hear more from Senator Fontana, because he said the phrase Pittsburgh Renaissance. And we've seen a lot of actual improvements around the Pittsburgh area. So I wonder if, because this is multiple connections here. I wonder if some of our funding is actually coming from the city rather than the state and, other sources. Because Pittsburgh is kind of going through a renaissance right now. We've had several neighborhoods renamed. We've had several, especially like downtown and North Shore, that have just been completely redone. And like, sure, part of that is people are trying to figure out how to get tenants into their skyrise buildings that offices are no longer occupying. But a good chunk of that is also Pittsburgh is changing right now.
I mean, to your point, it's not Station Square. They're calling it South Shore. It's the South Shore Stadium, not the Station Square Stadium. So we know the Station Square is for sale, and that there could be some things happening with that as well. But exciting times, guys. Yeah. I guess final thoughts, Peter. What's your final thoughts on the big news of the day?
I just wonder when the Riveters are going to have a Super League announcement, because it seems like this is going to get like them closer to it. I just want dates, man, for everything, for groundbreaking, for just USL D1. Just come on, man. Give me times, give me dates.
to that point, I can't remember who it was in our Slack. Correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like it was Kaz. Somebody said that if you notice on the renderings, it says Hounds on the seating. It could just as easily say, what did we say? PRSC, because that could stand for Pittsburgh Riveters Soccer Club or Pittsburgh Riverhounds Soccer Club. Likewise, it says Riverhounds Stadium across the top. So who knows what's going to happen there? Again, these are just sort of renderings, so we shall see. Drew, final thoughts on things?
I'm excited. There's one professional team in Pittsburgh that needs a trophy, and there's 2 check boxes, right? Has a cool stadium, has a championship trophy. 3 out of 4 have both of those, and we've just checked one of those boxes for the Hounds, hopefully here. So hopefully the second one is going to come soon. If you build it, they will come, Mike. If you build it, they will come.
I felt like it was a bit too easy, but it's Robbie. I'll let him slide. Josh, final thoughts.
No, it's exciting. I do think even just the announcement has caused some buzz for people to come see games. In my work Slack, someone posted the article about the stadium. Like as I was coming back from the press conference and sitting down at work again, I checked our Pittsburgh channel, and someone had posted about it, and then there's buzz inside there, and like, oh, when do they play? What's the season right now? And so I started playing, almost like your local Riverhounds reporters. Is like, okay, yeah, this is the stadium, this is the location, these are where the games are left, 4 left, and you can find tickets here. So just answering those questions, and that obviously that happened organically. I didn't even bring up the stadium being built. It's just someone else had posted it in there. And I know Liz had a similar comment. She's like, I'm getting people messaging me at work right now asking about the stadium because they know I'm a Riverhounds fan. So it's just a
Riveters fan.
And a Riveters, you're right. But yeah, so people are just oh, I heard about this, and are you excited about this? And just the buzz is there, and I know a lot of press was there, and this, even though it's far off still, it could still have a big effect on currently and to the Riverhounds.
Yeah.
And showing this intention and this ambition is a big deal, I think, for the city.
Agreed. Steve?
Yeah, no. So I want to address kind of the aspect that we've had people in our chat. There's been people on Reddit. There's been people in the Steel Army Discord of asking lots of good, meaningful questions. And I don't care today. Okay, I am excited because this is big news and it's exciting news, and I will ask questions, but not today. So just have fun with it for today.
Yeah, there's the whole funding conversation.
Right.
The task for all of you out there, and you can hit us up at mongols3@gmail.com. Find us on Blue Sky. You can also leave a comment on this video. They did not announce a sponsor for the stadium. So who do you think would be the best sponsor to name this stadium? Guys, I'm not going to put you on the spot and ask you to name one.
And why is it Iron City?
And why?
Probably hockey.
My dog.
I mean, Fort Iron sounds great.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want to go Fort Mon though. We should just name it Monongahela Stadium.
I thought you said Fort Mondo, not Fort Mondo.
Listen, if I had stadium naming money,
he would not be on the show with us
money.
right now.
Funding wouldn't be an issue right now. Okay?
The best part about it was
stadium would be bought and paid for already.
Yeah, no, Fort Mondo. It'll always be that in my heart.
That is what we think. Let us know what you think. Obviously, massive news, guys. I appreciate you all jumping on here at the last minute to just talk through it and share some of our excitement. Let us know how you think and how you feel. Otherwise, obviously, more to come. And we still have a big game against Birmingham this weekend. So hopefully the guys can head down there and bring us home a full 3 points and keep this train rolling. So from all of us, thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. We will be back with more Hounds content for you very, very soon.
Later.
Go Hounds.
This is the way.
See ya.
Well done.